Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report here on the Piper Academy Network, guys. Bitcoin breaking $106,000 over the weekend. Friday, we called $105,000 all-time high coming soon. Showed you guys the level, told you guys why we thought that was going to happen, and we broke it. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I undershot it at 105K. We actually hit 106K. So, but I knew that that was coming because all the reasons we talked about on Friday. But right now, guys, getting a little bit of sell-off on some altcoins here. On the market side, TradFi market side, guys, we are looking at the Dow Jones, the S&P, NASDAQ, all to the upside. It looks like the U.S. 10-year pulling back a little bit. So right now, not bad. NASDAQ currently up about 0.5%. The S&P is up about 0.3%, and the Dow Jones up just over 0.1%. But market's not looking too bad overall in the grand scheme of things. We are getting a little bit of a bounce back up. Oh, over there, a little bounce back up there on Bitcoin right now. We rejected pretty much dead on with the 1382. That's off of my fibs, guys. Those 6-year-old Fibonacci levels on a trend-based fib, exactly where we rejected. We're going to be looking at that today. We're going to be taking a look at some news that you guys need to know about and talk about MicroStrategy, because two big things happening to MicroStrategy. We're going to get that and a whole lot more, guys, today on the Morning Market Report. Let's go ahead and get it. Class is in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Guys, if you guys are just joining us here, this is the show where we bring you guys the economy, the news, the markets, headlines, charts, technical analysis, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. But I don't do the show by myself. I got a cohort. It's my man with the alibi all the time right here. It's the OC guy. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Not much, just wrestling with the software as always. Well, this time was a little bit, last minute thing, rebooting, resetting, retrieve and retrieve, right? Other than that, doing fantastic. Still haven't got my coffee. I'm gonna just keep, when you go to the news, running to my coffee, just waiting for me right there in the pantry.
When I go do news, you go get coffee. We'll be set. That's it.
Oh, yes. And other than that, very, very, very ready for the week starting. I mean, I think this week is going to be very exciting, especially because this is the last week before Christmas. So we'll see how the markets play.
Santa rally, baby. I don't know.
Hopefully.
Right. Well, I put on the thumbnail today. This is just the beginning. It's just starting, right? But first, we're going to talk about those levels. There's an indicator, classic indicator. That is showing that we are just getting started on the upside move right now again. So we're going to look at that, but where can we pull back to on support? Guys, stay tuned for all of that, but let's go ahead and jump into the news so OC guy can go get coffee. He'll be very happy. You'll be very informed. Let's go get over there and check it out, guys. Jumping over into the news, I got to get this adjusted here. Let me get you guys all set up, because I pushed OC out early to go get coffee. There. Bam, look at that. No, I'm a little bit off. You a little bit off, sir, right there. There we go, guys. Jumping in here on the market cap right now, sitting at, I think this is actually a little higher now. Let's refresh that. Yeah, $3.83 trillion market cap. We're closing in on the $4 trillion market cap, guys. Volume in the past 24 hours up 41.8% there with the trade volume. Let's jump over here, take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Currently says it's sitting about 56.4. I just checked it. It's actually 57 now, a little bit over now. So that is that's moving along down a little bit, about 2.7. But with everything being red right now on that bubbles chart and Bitcoin being green, I think we might see that that little shift happen there on the levels, how far it's down on Bitcoin. Looking at the CMC Fear and Greed Index for the crypto market cap, it's at 80 extreme greed right now. Yesterday was at 77, last week at 83. So we've been higher. We've been here, done that, right? No worries, no harm, no foul. 62 out of 100 is where we are in the altcoin season, pulling back a little bit based on Bitcoin dominance. Guys, remember, Bitcoin typically tops, and then altcoins run for about a month afterwards. So right now it looks like it's setting up for another run to the upside. So therefore, maybe not full on alt season yet. Let's go jump into these bubbles and take a look as the C moves from one side to the other. There we go. A lot of red on here right now to go along with some of these greens, but a big one though, guys. ONDO setting a new all-time high yesterday. That was beautiful to see. My ONDO bag was greatly appreciative. Let's check out Bitcoin right now, sitting at $104.6 thousand, guys. We pulled back. Bitcoin had a major pullback. It's crashing to $104,000. That's pretty much been the sentiment on crypto Twitter this weekend. It's crashing. Up 1.8% on the day. Ethereum up 0.8% on the day, sitting just under $4,000, 3,924. XRP down 1.4%. Selling off a little bit. Very small sell-off, but still nonetheless. BNB taking Solana's spot in the top 10, moving up to number 5, down 0.5%. Solana down 1.6. Dogecoin down 1.3, just under 40 cents for that. Cardano's down 2.5. Tron 2.3. Avalanche 3.7. And Chainlink pumping up all just under $30. Just under $30 a token, a long way from 700. We'll see if it gets there. But it is sitting up 2.8%. Shout out to Wix Wife Fine 89. I see you. What's up, Pipers? Alexandra G is in the house with us and the whole alumni gang. I appreciate all of you guys. Robert Mulligan, good morning, group. Made it for class. Good job. Take a seat anywhere and just get out your notebook. That's okay if you're late. As long as you were partying or trading, you're good to go here at the academy. Look at Shiba Inu down 3.3%. Toncoin down 4%. SWI up 3.8%. SWI up, moving to the number 15 position on the market cap. Also, glad to see that just above $4.75 there. Polkadot losing 4%. Stellar losing 4%. Hedera losing 5%. You guys can see some of these lower ones here selling off, losing some momentum. Might be a good time to look at those charts and see where they're at. That would round out our top 20 with Hyperliquid at number 22, moving up 3 positions, up 17.3%. Interesting. Hyperliquid, guys, moving. Let's check here on these again. I'll just give it a little refresh again. We already talked about this at the intro. These are your TradFi. It looks like we're getting a little pullback on the Dow Jones, everything actually. Dow Jones and NASDAQ both pulling back slightly, still sitting in the green, but pulling back just a little bit. Economic data, guys, let's talk this because we got a big week coming up ahead. We got FOMC week. It's Jerome Powell. He takes center stage, and the financial rock star Chappelle. I got my tickets. Do you have your tickets? It's going to happen Wednesday. We're going to be watching that. That's what's coming up this week is the FOMC U.S. rate cuts. Is the Fed rate cut going to get happen? 25 basis point, going to pause, going to go up. Right now, it looks like it's going to happen. We're going to get a 25 basis point rate cut going on this Wednesday. That is FOMC day, Wednesday, December 18th, right there, 12 p.m. my time. That's 2 p.m. on the East Coast. That will be the Fed rate decision and then the projections. And then 30 minutes later, Jerome Powell's going to come out and talk and wreck all the markets. Typically how that happens. It's how it goes down. But I want you guys to be aware. That might be the big thing going on this week, but Friday we still do have core PCE. That is one of the biggest metrics that the Fed looks at, and I'm having a feeling because this was 0.3% previously, that this could come in a little high because remember, PCE is a product of the PPI and the CPI, and both of those came in a little bit hot, 0.1% up. I think that we might see the PCE come in a little hot also, and if we do, that would be an indicator that, okay, look, we had this indicator and we said, okay, that's bad. Inflation's coming back a little bit. We got this indicator, this report. Oh no, it's happening. Inflation, yep, it's coming back. But now there's a cha-ching for you first, man. I got you, cha-ching. Now we're looking at PCE coming in, and that might be the situation where we get, okay, fine, I can't deny it anymore. Inflation is coming back while we're cutting rates, which is a little odd. So keep an eye on that on Friday. But another thing you guys need to know about, if we go up here and select countries, and we're going to go down here and click Japan, and we're going to look here on this Wednesday. You guys see that? Bank of Japan interest rate decision. They are expected right now to pause. 0.25% is what they're at. That's what they expected to be at. So that is the one that's caused the Japanese carry trade the last time they raised rates. And that Japanese carry trade absolutely wrecked the markets, guys. We're watching this closely. And as of right now, like I said, it says They don't plan on raising rates. It might be closer to March, which would align with what we talked about before. And I have a video also coming out on about a Q1 pullback. That would be in line with the March Bank of Japan raising the rates again. The rest of that carry trade plays out because it's not fully unwound, and that would give us the pullback in the total markets in Q1. It's aligning perfectly on timeline-wise, but as of right now, that's on Wednesday also. Bank of Japan looking like they are not going to raise rates. They're not going to cut either. It's going to pause. But we are looking at right now Fed rate decision, 4.5%. We're currently at 4.75. That would be a 25 basis point rate cut for us. In fact, you can see it right here, 97.1% chance of a rate cut. So, excuse me. U.S. dollar and Japan dollar logs 6-day rally against the yen. So this is in because of that same thing. The dollar, they're going to cut rates. Japan is not. And as long as we keep seeing this rally against the yen, then we are looking like, okay, the people that read all this data, they're seeing that they are not cutting rates. We are cutting rates. So that is a good thing. We're not getting a rate hike, not getting a rate dump. As long as we keep gaining in strength on the US dollar versus the Japanese yen, we are good to go. Is there anything else in here that I had to talk about today? Let's go look here. Key events this week. We already talked about that. Well, we didn't really talk about it. Let's go talk about it. Let's talk about it. S&P 500 Global Services, that was today. Came out pretty decent, not bad. That's why we got a little bit of a pump. November retail sales is going to be on Tuesday. Federal interest rate on Wednesday, which we just discussed. Q3 GDP data for 2024. That's going to be on Thursday, so I missed that. That's important to know. GDP on Thursday, and then November existing home sales on Thursdays. November PCE, big one. We just talked about that. So there you go. There is that data. What else do we have in here that we can talk about? Oh, longs versus shorts. We're going to come back and look at this in a little bit, but you can see right now 57.4% on centralized exchanges is the amount of shorts versus 42.6% of all trades being long. So a lot of people trying to short right now on Bitcoin. We're going to talk about this. We've actually got a whole show coming up on this about the IRS making big changes starting January 1st about your crypto taxes. I'm going to bring Ernest on. He's supposed to call me today. Ernest and I are going to take a look at that and see what you guys need to know about your tax stuff. And then I think that is it. We'll talk about that in a minute. We're good. We're good. We're jumping back over to Duo Cam. Let's go. OC. OC, how you been? You got your coffee, bro? You got your coffee?
Oh man, yes, and it tastes like Christmas. I did pour a little bit of a pumpkin spice into it, and
Nice.
delicious.
Nice. That's just basic OC. I like it with his pumpkin spice. Basic AF. All right, man. Let's go ahead and take a look at the. We talked about a lot of the data here, but I want to take a look at the chart right now on Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and jump into that, because there's some big things moving on that. And then we're going to come back and talk about MicroStrategies, because if Bitcoin's doing stuff, that means MicroStrategy's got to be doing stuff too. And then there's a lot more stuff going on with MicroStrategy that we cannot forget about. So let's go check out this Bitcoin chart, guys. We are continuing to pump. I put a poll in this morning, guys. I said, which one gets hit first? What gets hit first? 106.5K or 102K? Right now, it looks like 102K is the winner on that poll right now. So you guys are doing it. Let's go take a look though and talk about this, because there's two things I want to show here. One, how about a chart? There we go. One, we did get a rejection perfectly on my 1.382, guys. 106,493. We had a little tiny tip above that. But overall, guys, these fibs go back to 2018. I've showed you guys my fib levels before. I've given them to our members in the trade group. On Saturday, I think it was Saturday, may have been Friday. I said, hey guys, we got this little breakout. We're about to do this. I put it in our Discord, put a post on X about it. I said, if we get this, looking at 102,000, of course, we went way past that, continued all the way up to 106. And right now we're heading back up there. I don't know if this is going to get a rejection here or not. I really can't tell you guys, because right now we did get the downtrend. We did get the true 7. Everything needs to cool off here a little bit on the 4 hour. So I could see us kind of rejecting off of here and ranging in this area. But I do think that a $102,000 return is going to happen. The reason for that is, let's jump over here and go talk about this, is this right here. So you guys remember the CME gap that we had back here, and I said, look, we got to come back and fill that out. Well, we did. There's where the CME gap was made at right there, and we came back and we filled it in over the weekend here. So, or last Friday, I should say. Right now, we have a gap running between let me get that exact number for you, $102,300, and the top side of that is $103,610. So I would not be surprised to see price pullback come in, hit this support line here. There's a support line there. If you guys can't see it, all those candle tops, they create a floor, right? And so we could come back, hit that, and then close out the CME gap. But let's talk about CME gaps for a second, because while, yes, there is a CME gap there to fill, remember, there's also a CME gap here to fill down at the $77,000 range. And I've told you guys that if you go back in previous cycles and take a look, let me bring this up here and let me get that over there. If you go back and look in previous cycles where we had, like, for example, here, we had a CME gap that filled in December of 2020. That is going into the 2021 up run. We have a CME gap right now, December of 2024, 4 years later, right? This gap did not get filled until the bear market in 2022, okay? So didn't know this, but there's a little bit of interesting information about CME gaps during bull runs. And if we go over to here and I go to my bookmarks, one of the guys that I've been following, Kush, and I actually hit him up. I want to do a collab with this dude. He's brilliant. He has this thing here talking about breakaway gaps, runaway gaps, exhaustion gaps. And typically that's a common gap right there. You guys can see that on the far left. Common gap, it gets filled back up, right? But on a breakaway gap, it happens during bull runs where you get that breakup. It's a breakaway, does a little consolidation, does a runaway, and then it just rallies off until exhaustion, and that one gets filled, okay? 4 different types of gaps there. Right now, he's saying that $77,000 one right there was a breakaway gap. And the one that we just created at $102,000, because we have the little consolidation bubble there on top, just like the picture, right? That this could be a runaway gap, which would mean the exhaustion gap running very up high, around $160,000. That would be interesting. Can I get you to close, please? There we go. Thank you. That would be a very interesting move to see. Was not tracking about breakaway gaps, runaway gaps. So shout out to Kush. He's got the good stuff. If you know, you know. But we could be seeing that setting up right now, guys, for that upside move off of that runaway gap. So just because we have a gap here at $77,000, that would be the breakaway. We got a little curvature, and now we've got, I'm looking at this on the daily, but now we've got the CME gap giving us the runaway. So that was a breakout gap, runaway gap, and now we're looking for that upside move. If you guys don't know, that target that he's putting on there, that would be in line with this chart here that I did in a video recently talking about the Bitcoin cycle tops. That would be around 167 to 169,000. He had on there just an arbitrary 160,000, but still interesting nonetheless to see that. So that's what I'm watching there on Bitcoin, just to give you an idea of where we are in the heat map right now, because that's how we called $105,000 on the Friday show. That's looking right now at about $100,000 on the 3-day. Let me give this a little refresh and see how this is looking as we go down through. We're going to walk it down. So yeah, there's a heat down $102,194. So that would be in line with that CME gap that's down there. But if we come in here and start looking at the higher time frames, we're not really getting much above us. So that's why I said we might get another rejection off of that Fibonacci level before we see it move on. And that Fib level, again, guys, on my chart is sitting right at $106,493. We'll call it 106.5, round it up, and call that a day. OC, let's jump over to you. Let's see what you're seeing on your chart, and then let's talk about MicroStrategy, shall we?
Absolutely. So first of all, just take a look at here at Bitcoin. This is a 15-minute time frame. I want to reference this one up because this is the same pattern that I was looking at Link the weekend before, so Friday, and we talked about Link, a possibility to maybe make a breakout retest, right? So another important thing that I see when we zoom out, and let's go to the 4-hour really quick, it is our previous highs. Remember that I tell you guys I want to see a big body candle here, and that big body candle, it is referred to the previous candle body size, right? So look at that, pretty small, somewhat small, right? And pretty small, pretty small. So what we got here, a big body candle going through the previous line of resistance here. It's not about the breakout. Well, then we did have a little bit of pullback. It's about the retest, beautiful retest, and off we go with the next big body candle. If we can close that big body candle as is or higher, I think we're set up for that very nice Christmas that we might have. Something to warn you up here, it is a possibility of a big pullback. And let me show you why. At this point, we have a breakout, retest, and then, of course, off we go out of a beautiful reversal. Look at that pinpoint reversal, and then a support. This support is not an automatic support. It is just a previous high that we grabbed from this area right here, all right? So pretty good. And then if I start looking at my liquidations, here we go. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Let's wait for it to work. It's way around. There we go. We start seeing a little bit of a choppiness, right? So basically just space. So if we're able to pierce through this one, most likely we're going to be hitting, I mean, really close to 107, 108, something till the next gap. But we also need to understand that we're building up that bearishness here, those very dramatic, I don't know, 10x, 20x, 50x, 100x that are just getting kind of like a begging for a retracement here to be taken out, right? Let me very quick go to my settings here and go to, where is it? A link, so we can see what happened. This was the signal I gave Friday, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. You see almost the exact same pattern. So not about the breakout, it's about the retest. There we go, breakout, retest. And as we are going up, we're starting to build up those liquidity zones, right? So basically those liquidation areas. So this is on the best interest of market makers, right? To come back in here and look at that, just do a little bit of hey, you're over ledge, buddy, over leverage, buddy, right? I take you out and then I continue with the market movement. So just be careful. Again, I'm not pretending to be the bear of today's show, but still, I always point out at the worst possible scenario, right? And at this point, the worst possible scenario is getting everybody in with the trading here, and then last minute, when every single one is out of here, well, then just do a little bit of a retracement, taking out previous liquidation zones, and then getting you out. So if you're not into a long on the 15 minutes, and that's what you're looking for on the 15 minutes, guys, right? This is not the time to start chasing after the price. Let's just wrap it up on the 4-hour very quick. And if you're looking at the 4-hour possible trade, well, then it's not too late, although this is not financial advice, and I will not be taking this candle, but maybe a retracement on the next candle, if that makes sense. And that is because what I'm seeing on my oscillator. Look at that. By the way, this is a free oscillator. This is an RSI primed. And look at this. We already have 2 bearish candles. That usually indicates a possible retracement, right? Or just a retracement over time. So this would make sense for us to make a little bit of a retracement before we continue up. And this would be my 4-hour/daily possible entry, not a 15-minute entry, because my 15-minute entry might not make my stop loss work, if that makes sense. Other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. So let's talk about history repeating itself, OC. But first, shout out to the Coons Trading. He sent everyone over here. He redirected to us. So shout out to everybody joining us over there from Coons, the master of the Elliott waves. So appreciate him and appreciate everyone that's here. Shout out to Bedredden in the chat right now and all of our new viewers. If you guys are getting anything out of this, please smash that like button and share it with a friend, just like Coons did. Because that's what we do. Sharing is carried. Let's go talk about history repeating itself, OC, because this one's going to blow your mind. What is today's date? It's December 16th. By the way, tomorrow, December 17th, my birthday. So this is going to be my birthday gift. Let's get this to happen. Let's go. Let's go check this chart out. December 16th. Okay. You guys can see here, we've got a nice one little single candle down there. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's pretty small, but there's a little green candle on the histogram of the MACD. This is MACD normalized, created by Chart Prime. Love it to death. We also have a twist of the ribbon going here. We're about to flip up after a nice rally back here in the October time period. We did get a nice bounce on the 3D trend before that happened, gave us that up movement. We had a little consolidation period there, went into red on the histogram. Now flipping back to green, flipping on the ribbon. Guys, that's December 16th, 2021, 4 years ago to the day. Let's go ahead and watch what happened here with this. And you'll see what the price action played out like. Let's put this on 3 so it's a little bit faster. And then I'll show you where we currently are. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Guys, this went all the way to the top. This was a big indication in December of 2021 that we were heading to some new highs here. Let's go ahead and stop this. Let's go to the current time period. Can we go to the current time period and talk about that? Guys, look, December 16th, 2024. We have one green candle. We're about to flip. We bounced pretty good down here in that October time period on the 3D trend. And now we are setting up for another upside movement. Is history about to repeat? I do not know, but it's beautiful. That's why I said on the thumbnail today, guys, just beginning. However, watch for those CME gaps. But I also showed you those CME gaps, guys. They can actually be things that project and squeeze us to the upside. We got more shorts than longs right now. You know the market makers don't like the traders to win. And if they're all calling for shorts, it is very, very possible we could see upside movement. OC, your thoughts on that MACD repeat there, man? 2021, December 16th to the day, December 16th, 2024. Are we setting up for the biggest rally part yet? What are your thoughts on that, man?
Oh man, history does not repeat, right? But it usually rhymes, right? Or it looks like alike. So I mean, I'm pretty excited, and especially since we already have broken previous highs, right? I would not be putting all of my eggs in the same basket, and I learned that the hard way. Regardless, how is that called? Regardless if that is gold, silver, Bitcoin, whatever, right? Because that just gets you more risk, right? You're not diverging. So let me get started there. But then let's just also, man, I really hope so. I really hope so. I
right?
mean,
Let's go.
What? Oh, yes, it's been over what, a year since I calculated $500,000 Bitcoin. And now also with your analysis of the fee, that I mean, very coincidental, right? Coincidental. It's not coincidence because everything is connected. So math repeats itself when you look at it in a certain perspective, right? So very coincidental. We also have again another perspective of that $500,000 Bitcoin. Again, guys, disclaimer. I'm not saying that we're going to be shooting to exactly to $500,000 Bitcoin like from one day to another. But this is a mathematical probability, right? And as we go closer as we go closer to target per target, month per month, well, then we start taking it seriously or more seriously as we get closer, right? I mean, it's not like we told you so a moment at all, right? Because we're not there yet. But I think it will be something like, hey, guys, this could be a very nice bull run, right? Again, do not get how do you call it when you shine a deer and they got blinded? Like,
yeah, don't get blinded by the light. Don't get blinded by the bullishness. Exactly. Don't stand in front of the bull as it's coming back down the road. Yeah, so hey, shout out to the Otter Gang too. Otter Gang just redirected to us. Also, Coons Trading and Otter Gang redirected to us today. I love all of you guys, and this is why we're here. Community. Can we talk about community real fast? Let's talk about community. I got to do a real quick setup here for this. But we're going to talk about community because yesterday was a very big day for the BillyGoatTales community, guys. And so I need to talk about that because I bought some, and you guys are going to prosper off of this. Somebody is in our memberships. If you guys are not members, Alexander G is getting ready to drop one. We've got basic membership here on the YouTube, but there's also an upper tier called Upperclassmen that gives you access to like trade setups, subscription shares, all kinds of stuff in the Discord. So you guys need to check all that stuff out. But what we're doing here is we're going to be giving away some stuff. And if you guys look, let me pull this up and throw it on the screen here and you'll see it. This is straight off my phone. So new thing I'm doing here. How to do a new thing. There we go. BillyGoatTales, guys. They dropped their NFT yesterday, their NFT series. And I've got a bunch of them here. I got a whole bunch. Matter of fact, I've got 2 sets. They did an 8-hour stream for this, guys, and they dropped the NFT. Let's go talk about that for a second, and then I'll show you guys what we're going to be doing here at the Piper Academy for everyone. There you go, BillyGoatTales, guys. You go up here, NFT Mint info, and you can see it's 10 NFT books. 30 chapters of content, preface, the preface, and the appendix there. Total collection, 1,000 NFTs. There is an NFT called Embracing Rarity that there's only 60 of them made, okay? Only 60. There's also some Easter eggs in there. That's a whole nother thing. They'll explain all of that later, but there's 10 books and they're randomly, when you go to mint them, they're random. It's 20. If you go to the official mint site, if you are not if you don't have the speaker pass, you haven't been a speaker on season 1, then your cost will be 25 ADA per book. And you can just go in there and put how many you want. Remember, if you put up to 10, it's not going to give you all 10. Okay. I want to explain that, but I got the entire set for myself. I have a whole lot of extras because I worked hard to donate to the BillyGoatTales team. I believe in their mission, but I have an entire second set. An entire second set. I got that number 9 rarity that there's only 60 of them minted total. I have 2 of them. Guys, Piper Academy is going to be giving away the entire collection, 1 through 10, of the BillyGoatTales NFT book. You don't have to sit there and keep minting to get all 10 of them. You're going to get sent to your ADA address 1 through 10 so that you can have that. I used a Vesper wallet for that. But if you guys are members, that's how you're going to be in the giveaway. We're going to let it run for the week. And then once that happens, because I'm trying to get a BillyGoatTales trophy too, so I can say home of the golden goat for holding the most. But we are going to be later next week, we're going to put all the names together of our members, whether they're upperclassmen or the alumni here on the YouTube channel. And then if you are an upperclassman, you get 2 entries. So if you are an alumni, you get 1 entry. If you're upperclassman alumni, you get 2 entries. And we're going to be giving away the entire set collection, 1 through 10, to a member here in our community. So you guys are not going to have to go hunt them down. You're going to get the extremely rare number 9 in that collection, full set for you from Piper Academy. So shout out to the BillyGoatTales team for a successful launch of this NFT program. It's amazing. You can go in there and read the entire book. There's a lot of stuff in it. I saw myself in there like 9 times already. It's pretty cool. But yeah, you guys need to go check it out. And if you want to wait, they've done 250 of the mints here so far, minted 250 NFTs out of the 1,000. So they're 25% of the way through. They launched it yesterday. So, but we're going to be giving away the entire collection to a Piper Academy community member here in about a week and a half. So shout out to all of you guys. OC, let's talk about Crypto Trade said, I better win that shit. Call it rigged. I love you, bro. Let's go talk about MicroStrategies because some things happened with MicroStrategies recently. You may not have heard, you may have heard. Let's jump over here and talk about it. MicroStrategy acquires 15,350 more Bitcoin. just ahead of them being listed on the NASDAQ 100. If you guys don't know, the company's current Bitcoin holdings are valued at $45 billion, making up over 2% of all of Bitcoin supply. They announced today that they acquired another 15,350 Bitcoin that they bought between December 9th and the 15th, marking its sixth consecutive week of Bitcoin purchases. MicroStrategy funded the acquisition through the sale of 3.8 million shares, generating net proceeds. So that's how they got it. According to Google Finance data, MicroStrategy has been among NASDAQ's best performing stock this year with a remarkable 547% year-to-date increase. And on December 13th, NASDAQ announced its annual reconstitution of the NASDAQ 100 ETF. It's an index, which saw 3 new companies added to it. That's MicroStrategy, Palantir, and Axon. Guys, this puts exposure to a lot of 401ks, retirement, pension programs, stuff like that, that buy the NASDAQ 100 index. That's where they put money at because it's a rotation of the top 100 companies in tech. MicroStrategies is now in that list, okay? So that's a very big thing. But there was another piece that happened also, and that is this here. MicroStrategy can merit an S&P 500 inclusion if it adopts new accounting rules. If you guys don't know, yesterday, historic day for the accounting world when it comes to Bitcoin. There is a new accounting standard from the FASB, which means that the company could report a gain of more than $300 per share for the first quarter and meet the remaining requirement for index inclusion. If you guys don't know about this, it is an FASB. I can talk about this. I don't even need an article. FASB went into adoption yesterday. You are eligible. Publicly traded companies are eligible to adopt the new standards as of yesterday, which would give them the ability in quarter one to give their earnings report saying that they gained from this. What it is that before the FASB, that is the Financial Accounting something board. I can never remember the S, securities board, support board, whatever, structure board. Anyway, they have to report when a company buys Bitcoin, they had to report that they bought it to their shareholders. If they had losses, which is called impairment, if they had an impairment, they had to show that impairment, that they lost money, okay? So saying that they bought Bitcoin, required, saying that the Bitcoin went down in value and the company lost valuation, an impairment, if you will, had to be reported. But there's a thing called the fair value gap on that, and that is the that if Bitcoin went up in value while they were holding it, they could not show any profit made on that until they sold their Bitcoin. MicroStrategies doesn't sell their Bitcoin. A lot of the companies that are going to be buying Bitcoin do not want to sell their Bitcoin. They want to hold it, right? It goes up in value. They're looking at long term. It's a reserve of the company, right? This will have the potential of MicroStrategy being able to show all of their Bitcoin that they have never sold and its valuation versus when they bought it, which is more than double right now. And according to this article, again, they're talking about a $300 increase per share based on this. So the FASB issued new guidance in December last year that allows companies that hold digital assets on their balance sheet to measure them at fair value. The record changes in fair value and net income in each reporting period. The new rule becomes effective January 1, but early adoption of the standard is allowed. That is yesterday. So if you guys don't know, that's what happened with MicroStrategy. And MicroStrategy today, let's just go take a look at it. Let me get to here, and then let me get to the chart, and let's go talk about that. Come here, MSTR. Where are you? Yeah, MicroStrategy right now did get a little pullback, but holding strong right here. You guys can see this. We talked about this numerous times about that level of the golden pocket. Let me get all the Mexican spaghetti off of there, and I'll show you guys what I'm seeing right now here. We are getting a bounce up off of the platinum pocket, the 1887 right there, and now we are breaking above the cloud. This could be setting up to do what it does when it comes out of that. You guys see here, we go above the cloud, and we get support off of it to the upside. Right now, it looks like MicroStrategy is setting up to do that again, break that cloud, and that would be another bullish move. But let's talk about the truth of the valuation that we can see. We talk about $300 here on MicroStrategy. That's what that article said, $300 per share valuation. But when we come over here and look, there's actually one in here that actually puts it at $45.49 per share. That's what it's $45.59 per share, approximately a 3.7x PE ratio, meaning that it's 3.7 times greater than its profit and earnings reported. But that's not bad considering that a lot of things right now overall are up like 20% on some stocks above their P&E ratio. So even if it's $45.49, we'll call it $45.50. Let's go take a look and see what that would put the price at right now. $45.50. That's right now it's $4.21. So we're talking about really simply a return back to this $502 range here. Pretty close, just below that. And I would think that if we get into that and get a pullback on support, that we could look at another one. We'll throw a fixed range volume profile on there and see how that looks and see what type of support we're seeing here on this range. Yeah, perfect. Good support back at 447. Where I just drew that line to, and then back up again for another setup. So some bullish stuff going on there with it. It's all about the accounting, a bunch of boring things there, accounting numbers, and then also because they're going to be added to the NASDAQ, and then that change of early adoption on the accounting could put them into the S&P. And there you go. That is a perfect mixture. So we got a lot of people saying, go look at Solana. OC, you want to go ahead and pull up your chart and let's take a look at Solana. We got about 20 minutes here, so we can run through some alts. Let's go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's take a look at it. So Solana, let's see that I got one Solana market cap. All right. As always, I don't know why I always pull up the market cap. Solana, US dollar, this is it. Here we got it. So let's take a look at Solana first. I think let's take a look at daily here. So daily is pretty impressive. It had a beautiful moving here. Something that I've been seeing a couple of stuff. And then I want to take a look at RIOT, Piper, and I would love your opinion on RIOT. But afterward, we take a look at Solana, right? But here's the thing on Solana. We had this beautiful movement, and now we're having a downward movement, right? A beautiful symmetrical channel going downwards here. So, man, this gets me excited because so far, we are basically at the limit of what I would consider a bull flag right here on Solana, especially taking a look at daily. Something that I always look into it just to make things easier on myself and also not to get on with emotions, is just pull up one of my favorite tools, which is called the regression trend channel here. And what I look for, it is a median. What is a median? Basically a centroid, or the center of that channel, right? This dotted line that we have in here, right? So what I want to see, it is a contended or a very strong breakthrough that line in here, and then hover either over or at that line, but after a breakout like this one, right? That usually give me the push or the bullish momentum that I'm looking for then look at maybe my RSI prime, right? Look at those tiny candles, and what we usually look for when we're looking for reversals, tiny candles, tiny candles, tiny candles, right? Tiny candles. So those tiny candles are pretty nice to be seen in that zone. So as long as we hover over this area and we don't lose, I would say the 213 area, I think we're good to go for the next rally not too long after. Let me just clear this up, pull up my Oscillator Pro here. And what I'm looking for at this point, it is a reversal, right? Something important is that we already have the flip of the ribbon here, but this is one of those flip of the ribbons that had, yes, a reaction, but then a continuation. So I have a low. What I'm looking in here, it is a higher low. You see the importance on hovering over or at the median line there, right? And maybe pattern like this one or like this one. You see, yeah, like we have one of those flip of the ribbon and then a secondary flip of the ribbon, or a flip of the ribbon and then hover over and then continuing to the zero line here, or like exactly like this one, right? So that's what I want to have right away or right now at this point. And turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Let's jump over here and talk about that. So I had some people in here talking about they want to see they want that NFT. Guys, if you don't win the entire book, I've got like 41 NFTs from BillyGoatTales. I bought a lot. I support them, givers gain, right? And plus, I wanted the second set to give to you guys. So didn't matter, didn't care. I had some really good trades this weekend. I let it ride. That's pretty much what I paid for it. But I've got a lot of extras, so I will also be giving out. Oh, I need that link trade. Piper, can you do link chart? I got you, man. But we are going to be giving away some single NFTs also from them. So just so you guys know. And then also we had a question in the chat from Wick. He said, why would people buy MicroStrategy versus buying Bitcoin when it's really just a riskier play on buying Bitcoin, right? That's why, because risk to reward wise, the returns on MicroStrategy have truncated Bitcoin returns so far, and Bitcoin's been on a tear. MicroStrategies does quite a bit more. Matter of fact, looking just right now, Bitcoin's up 1.3% for the day. MicroStrategy's up 3.33% for the day. That's one reason. Two, because we have something going on there that is for the fan bam, keep it up. Nick dropped us a super chat, 70, I believe that's New Zealand. 70's ours, but hey, shout out to you. I appreciate you, Nick, for that super chat. Hashtag givers gain. I love it. Crypto Chef in here with givers gain too. So look, not everybody's ETFs, not everyone's 401ks, IRAs, retirement pensions have access to buy Bitcoin. If your financial manager is restricted because of what your type of retirement pension or investment account can go into, you can't just go buy Bitcoin. So MicroStrategies is a very higher risk, high reward. So maybe it's a smaller percentage, but it's a good way for the other money that can't get into Bitcoin to get exposure to Bitcoin is through that ETF with a little bit better returns than what you would see on like the Bitcoin ETF, right? So the Bitcoin ETF 1-to-1 with the valuation of Bitcoin, where MicroStrategy's a little bit of a leverage play. So, and it being now in the NASDAQ, that gives it exposure because a lot of these companies, you have to be in the NASDAQ 100 or the S&P 500 for them to take into consideration. And by simply putting into that index, they're going to be putting money into a percentage of how that index is broken down into MicroStrategies through the S&P 500 if that happens, and through the NASDAQ. So I hope that explains your question. It's about ease of exposure and the little bit of riskier play with Bitcoin exposure on the Bitcoin line. Let's go talk about ONDO, and then let's take a look at Link. I'm going to knock both of those out, OC, and then we'll kick it back to you. Just have one ready. See what you want to look at. I'll be right back to you. Let's jump over here and let's take a look at ONDO, guys. Taking a trend-based fib here that I pulled from low to high to low, because that's what we're looking for, is continuations of trends. So there's your low to your high to your low, giving us some nice levels here. You can see that the golden pocket played out really well as a bounce after a rejection on the platinum pocket, had a lot of resistance on the platinum pocket. Tells me that this 3-point sequencing is correct. Right now, we are holding support on the platinum pocket on the 887. I think if we hold this, we could be looking at more upside movement. If we don't hold this and we do come back to retest anywhere, watch for the timeline to be where the 3D trend is coming in above the 50 and the golden pocket, and that be one of the two ranges that we get our support bounce in on a retest. Looking at the oscillator, it does look like we do have a little bit of sell-off going on here. Money flow is starting to go red, but volume's looking good. So this could be just like we had here, where it started to come down. Money flow was in the red, volume is still coming up there, just like it is right now. And then we turn around and we pump again. So right now, this could just be setting up another continuation wave for ONDO. That's what I'm watching there, guys. That level coming in on the golden pocket, $1.81. Level coming in on the 50% fib is $1.68. Right now, the 887 line, $1.99, just under that $2 mark. So we are holding strong right there on that trend-based fib. Let's go jump over to take a look at Link, and let's talk about that, because Link is sitting at over $30 right now, guys. If you had gotten in here on, you don't even need the 3D trend. Mind you, 3D trend gave it a bounce, but guys, 4-hour dynamic reactor, double wick bounce, and both of them had the uptrend here, giving you indication of the upside movement below on the oscillator ribbon, below that 30% line. Uptrend gave a nice bounce up, and that was the entire move with support and confluence on that dynamic reactor. Now we are looking at this going up, and we go, okay, we're going to have to get some fibs here because we've got new levels. We're going into some pretty interesting levels. So let me go back here and see what we have back in this cycle. Perfect. And then let's go and see what we have for fib levels. So I want to bring this in. We're going to do a fib retracement here and see how that looks. Let's bring that to there. We are right now at the 50% on that one. But if we go and we pull this as a trend-based fibs from cycle lows to cycle highs, which is where we just got that rejection on Bitcoin, that level that I had on the Bitcoin chart that we rejected on there, right there, that 1.382, those are 6-year-old fibs pulled from 2021 high, or 2018 low to the 2021 high. So we can apply that same concept on trend-based fibs here, looking at this cycle. So let's go grab the trend-based fibs. Let's go to the low back here. I'm going to have to zoom that in a little bit, sir. There we go. That low is going to be right in there, I think. Yep, perfect. There's our low. We're going to bring that into the high for 0.2 and then into the low of this cycle, which is going to be about right there. And let's see what we're seeing here, guys. Looking at this, we are seeing that we have the 50% fib right up above us. So guys, this is going to be a critical resistance area, because if we come into the 50 from beneath and then we reject off of it, that is a bearish, very bearish move to see. That means that this is your top and you have to go back and do a reaccumulation and consolidation again. But if we break this 50, even if we reject it first, but we come back in and we break it and show it as support, guys, easily looking at $37 to $40 on the golden pocket here on it. I would even say that you're likely looking at $50 in the platinum pocket. Why? Psychological number, and the platinum pocket, not that far off above that golden pocket. So that's what I'm seeing for Chainlink. Right now, though, watch $31.56. That's your resistance area there. That is going to be the one to watch. So let's go over to your chart, OC. Do you have something ready to go, or do you have something to say? I'm not even reading the chat today. We're on a roll. So what did I miss on the chat? Anything?
Well, a little bit of a fun here and there, but I want to take a look at RIOT. RIOT is one of those mining companies that have been somewhere around here, and I mean, now that we see in MicroStrategy just being added to the S&P, I think RIOT might be getting started to be a little bit interesting. Let me go to a daily, and of course, I would love to see your opinion in this one. And let's also zoom out a little bit. Look at those kind of gains, right? At this point, I'm not expecting to get this kind of like returns. I mean, I will be very, very happy if it gets somewhere around 23.13. I think that will be amazing, right? But so far, we already have a breakout, right? Yes, I understand that we're into a range. Let's actually build that range right now, right? We are at almost high up in the range, but also in something important. It is that, look at that, we are making, oh, come on. Sorry, we are making here also a little bit of a compressing downwards wedge, right? Usually a downwards wedge usually tends to break to the upside. Another important thing is that we are making something like a bull. Like at this point, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. Seems like we already have the retest, and I will be waiting for the breakout continuation. If you haven't jumped in this one, this is not a signal. And because at this point, we are at the top. All right. Your opportunity was right here below in these areas, right? At the dynamic reactor or at the retracement. If you might be looking for an opportunity here, I would be just maybe waiting for a breakout retest and waiting for that retest to hold with a little bit of that pushing motion at the bottom, right? So basically having this, but like in here or even in here, if that makes sense. So something, let me show you. Something like this, right? Something like this. So when we're starting to make that push, well, then we also can bounce and keep up at those areas and keep pushing upwards. So basically, do not buy the tops, when we're at the top at this point, right? So let's go to the 4 hours really quickly. On the 4 hours, I do see the same bullish pattern here. Let me clear everything up very quickly. There we go. And then another important thing will be there we go, bringing up my my support and resistances. We are, as expected, into a resistance, and not only that, we are also into a bearish liquidity zone in here in a previous weekly high. Again, everything against a bullish continuation. But if we can make it of a retracement in here, maybe wait for that dynamic reg to come in place in here, and also bounce above the money flow POC, I think the money flow POC is going to be a strong factor to push upwards in here. So this might be your next possible entry at 4 hour time frame. Just so you know, I'm already here in RIOT. I bought somewhere around these areas in here after the pull up in here and break above the zero line in previous weekly low. That was my entry point, and at that point, basically, I'm just holding it to see if it breaks, and if it doesn't, I might just be taking profits if we lose this area down here. Other than that, what do you think that RIOT might have underneath future, Piper? And what would you be doing if you will be facing to enter a RIOT?
I think that I wish there was an ETF for the mining companies. That's what I wish. I wish there was an ETF for the mining companies in general, because it kind of goes back and forth on, they're on a massive competition to acquire Bitcoin. They're buying Bitcoin. Marathon Digital is buying Bitcoin. I think I just saw recently that RIOT was also buying Bitcoin. I believe it was them, or might have been Iron, but they're buying Bitcoin to hold because of the accounting changes that just came up, right? So, so they are looking at acquiring so that they can get more money, so they can buy more mining rigs, so that they can mine more Bitcoin, which is still not enough. Nobody can produce enough Bitcoin for the ETF demand that's buying it up right now. But I just want to point out, guys, right now, we are about to set, actually, did we set it? Did we set a new all-time high? Let's go look. We're about to break a new all-time high. Yes, I think we did, guys. The high here, 106,554. No, we are just underneath it right now. 106,554 was the high. We are at 106,493. It's pushing up, trying to break this 1382. So we might actually break another new all-time high while we're live. This is what we were talking about this morning. Those gaps, they are runaway gaps, guys. So if it's playing that role that we saw in 2021, same exact thing. We're looking at this to move to the upside. MACD normalized on the daily, telling us we got upside to move, and we might actually see this break a new all-time high while we're live right now, guys. So Bitcoin is strong, and as long as Bitcoin keeps doing that right there, then your mining plays are all going to be pretty good. And I think that RIOT might be a good play if it does show that support, bro. I think you're good there. Anyone else see that BIP about removing the decimals and calling says Bitcoin? No, I did not see that, Lunar Beaches. Did not see that at all. Just remember, guys, no matter what happens today, we are getting another double top. This is what I talked about. If we get this rejection on the double top here on the 1382, which is all-time high, right? We could be seeing a pullback to here. This is the level I'd be watching. That level is 101,973. That is going to be your fixed range volume profile value area high running right across here on this volume node. If we lose that, heading down to the point of control, that point of control down to 98,500. Would be a pretty substantial pullback in my opinion. However, coming in right there is the anchored VWAP upper line. There's also a dynamic reactor. There's also a trend line here. You can see this auto printed trend line coming in from Chart Prime in the green cloud. So I would say if we lose value area high 102, look for this range here. We're going to go ahead and get rid of all the Mexican spaghetti. All the Mexican spaghetti, go away. There we go. Clean your plate, boys and girls. We're going to go down here and we're going to throw a zone here that I'm going to put an alert on. It's going to be running right across the point of control here. It's going to include that anchored VWAP top line, the dynamic reactor, the quantum reactor, and a trend line on the 1.236. That zone, let's go ahead and click that. Right click on it. Actually, I got to put a line there. I guess I can't send an alert on that. We're going to put that right there, add an alert, and I will get notified when it enters that zone. That zone, though, guys, coming in for price line, 98,538 on the upside, 96,880 on the bottom side. That would be a prime area, in my opinion, to pick up Bitcoin. Not financial advice. But first, let's hope for that value area high to hold, and that's what we need. There's a proposal on Bitcoin to rename Satoshi to Bitcoins and get rid of the whole coin thing. One sat would be one Bitcoin if it gets approved. That would be very interesting. Retro Mike Tech. Let's ask Retro Mike this, because this guy knows the mining world like the back of his hand. Very smart dude. Glad to have him in our community. Would they have the voting power out there based on what miners are holding it where? Would they have the voting power to get that 51% to do that proposal? Retro Mike, let me know in the chat. But that's interesting. That I don't know how that would play out. It would be quite interesting. Dude wants to get rid of the decimals because he says it's confusing. Okay, I see. Well, I could see that. I think that's why a lot of people don't buy Bitcoin. Seriously, I think that a lot of people don't buy Bitcoin because they go, oh, I want to get into crypto. Oh, well, I heard about Bitcoin. Let me go check it out. Oh my God, Bitcoin's $105,000. I can't even afford 0.0001 Bitcoin right now. Let me see what else there is. Oh, check this out. PP coin, right? So they think that it's a better buy, or they heard about Litecoin, or they've heard about, oh, this is Bitcoin Cash. Let me check that out. And so they don't actually buy Bitcoin because in their mind, one Bitcoin being 105,000 and them having 0.0001 is not worth it. But they're missing the point that a 10% move to the upside, 100% move to the upside is still 10% or 100% gains on the fraction that you buy. So that might actually give some thought process to people on saying, okay, got it. But it does change a lot of the mentality when it comes to there's only going to ever be 21 million Bitcoin. And people go, well, now it's like 21 quadrillion Bitcoin. It'd be interesting to see. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But I can see pros and cons to it, and looking at second, third order effects of that happening. But we are at the bottom of the hour, just past OC. I appreciate you joining me today, man. You got anything for the people on the way out? And then we're going to head over to Randy Hipper's house. We're going to go raid the frat house. And shout out, by the way, shout out to Alex O Crypto and Coons Trading for redirecting to us today. We appreciate you guys. OC, what do you got for the people, man?
Today I had something very special from the bottom of my heart. Today we were joking in the chat that after the coffee I got the punch, and I was saying that I added the right kind of powdered sugar to it. The kind that give diabetes. But yeah, I know. But the thing is, like, I know it's a little bit silly, but I have applied this in the darkest times of my own life, right? And I know all of us have very dark times in our lives. And my mother told me once, 1 second. And my mother told me once, you know what? It takes two to fight, right? It takes two to make an argument. It takes two to fight, but it only take one to be happy, right? So no matter what, you can always find happiness within your heart and your mind, right? This is actually kind of like give me the chills here, because it was about the moment when I was a teenager. I was 16 and I was being sent as exchange student to the United States, and I spent a couple of years there as exchange student, and I didn't want to go, right? Everything flipped when she told me that. It kind of like synced in a lot, and I decided to, because I always wanted to be an astronaut, to rebuild my life plan. So I said, all right, my grandfather died into an Air Force accident. He was an Air Force pilot. So let's make the most out of it. I'm already going as a student. I'm going to be the best student. I'm going to be the best sportman. I'm going to join the best Air Force, that is out there, right? And then I'm going to make my way up to being an astronaut. Well, I'm still pretty happy I did not make it to an astronaut, things of life. But I always remember those words from my mother. It only takes one, right, to be happy. So guys, quick reminder, it only takes one to click that like button also right there, and you can make all of us very, very happy. So smash like that like button, guys. And also remember to be happy every single part of your day.
Perfect, brother. Appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that joined us here at the show today. Guys, if you did not do so yet, please smash that like button, and we will get you guys, to another level. We're going to keep growing this channel. We broke 6550. We're growing pretty quick. So, guys, share this out with people, and we will catch you guys back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets. Make sure you catch Trade Academy today, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Crypto Nightcap this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Markets After Dark with Lunar Beach's Crypto coming in late at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then tomorrow morning, we start it all over again with the morning market report, with the Good Morning Crypto and then the morning market report. Until then, guys, trade safe. And as always, use the stop loss. Let's go hit Randy Hipper's house. Let's go ask for our attendees. We're out.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels follow. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels follow. Sound off to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude!